Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining the American Institute of Architects New Jersey Chapter Equity and Architecture Committee. My name is Stacey Kliesch. I'm a past president of AIA New Jersey and the chairperson for the Equity and Architecture Committee. Today, we are delighted to share a webinar with you called Breaking Barriers, Navigating Architecture as an Immigrant and Woman of Color. I am thrilled to share my conversation with Sameedha Mahajan with you today. During this program, we will explore her career development strategies, industry challenges, and opportunities within the architecture profession. Drawing from her experience in critical infrastructure and challenges, aviation projects, and her journey as a first-generation immigrant and O-1 visa recipient, Sameedha will provide insights on navigating career transitions and fostering diversity within the field. The session will offer practical guidance and inspiration for architects seeking to broaden their career impact and support underrepresented voices in the industry. The goal of the AIA New Jersey Equity and Architecture Committee is to build professional equity in partnership between firms and individuals. We look to ensure fair and just treatment in all aspects of the workplace, including pay, opportunities, resources, and promotion, while also fostering a psychological safe environment where all voices are heard. In order to have equity in the marketplace and the profession, it requires empathy, understanding, and truthfulness between all parties. We are delighted to be able to bring this presentation to you today, and we encourage you to visit our YouTube channel for more content on equity and architecture. Today's course is being presented in celebration of Women's History Month and Women in Architecture Month, and it has been approved by AIA for 1 LU. There are 5 learning objectives that were shared with you upon registration, and we will be covering all of these topics in today's program. As I mentioned to you, I am the equity chair and have been providing content in the past as well as the future, and we encourage you to make suggestions and recommendations for additional programs that we may be able to bring to you throughout the year. And now I'm delighted to introduce to you Sameedha Mahajan, Associate AIA. Sameedha is an accomplished architect and urban designer with a diverse portfolio spanning aviation, wastewater, critical infrastructure, and healthcare projects. With extensive experience in the architecture and planning industry, she brings a unique multidisciplinary perspective to her work. As a first-generation immigrant woman of color, she's deeply committed to mentoring students and fostering inclusive growth within the design community. A lifelong learner and avid reader, Sameedha also writes about architecture and urban design for various print and digital publications, contributing to the broader discourse on the built environment. And at this time, I turn the presentation over to you, Sameedha.
Thank you, Stacey. Right. Thank you for the lovely introduction, Stacey. So hello, everyone. I am Sameedha Mahajan, and today I'll be sharing my journey, what it's been like navigating the field of architecture as an immigrant and a woman of color. From moving to a new country and finding my voice in the profession to facing challenges and embracing opportunities, this talk is about the lessons that I've learned along the way. And whether you're just starting out or figuring out your next steps, I hope my experiences can offer you some insight, support, or maybe even a few laughs. To start with, let me briefly introduce my background. I earned my Bachelor of Architecture degree from Mumbai in India. And after graduating from architecture school, I worked as an architect in India on residential and campus projects for a year and a half. And then I pursued my Masters of Urban Design from Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh. Professionally, I currently work as a design coordinator at HDR, where I primarily focus on critical infrastructure through aviation, healthcare, and wastewater treatment plants. I've also worked as an environmental designer at WattEarth, which is an environmental consultancy, where I worked on green infrastructure, master planning, and GIS analysis. I have also interned as an urban designer, which allowed me to explore urban design analysis and campus master planning further. Here are a few of my notable projects. So you see the range is varied from campus master planning to analysis to a few aviation projects and also net zero design. Moving to the US was a big transition for me, both culturally and professionally. While I had a strong foundation in architecture from my education and work experience in India, I also had to quickly adapt to a new professional environment. Learning US building codes and software and industry expectations was a steep learning curve, but also a very necessary one. It wasn't just about technical knowledge, but also about understanding the workplace culture, the communication styles, and the types of projects and the pace of projects that are done over here. And this experience has taught me resilience, adaptability, and they continue to shape my career today. One of the biggest hurdles for me has been the licensure process. I'm still undergoing it. While I am a licensed architect in India, the license isn't transferable to the US. So I had to explore ways of getting licensed over here. The path to licensure as a foreign trained architect comes with its own set of hurdles. The process can be tedious, and the verification of transcripts and verifying licensure credentials from your home country, getting the necessary AXP work hours, all while working full time, can be very stressful. But these challenges have reinforced the importance of persistence and advocating for myself in the system. Another key challenge has been breaking into high impact fields like aviation and critical infrastructure. These fields usually require specialized knowledge and are often dominated by professionals with extensive local experience. However, I've found that a diverse background and a fresh perspective can help bring value to these projects. By seeking mentorship, continuously upskilling, and proactively taking on complex projects and multidisciplinary roles, it is possible to carve a path for yourself in these specialized areas. As an immigrant in the architecture industry, I face several challenges, but also develop strategies to navigate them effectively. Finding the right mentors is a very important step. It plays a big role in guiding you. When it comes to developing technical expertise, coming from India, I had to learn new building codes and construction standards. The construction administration process over here also differs quite a lot. So gaining these technical skills is essential to sort of mark your place in the workplace. Networking with professionals, joining industry groups, and participating in mentorship programs can help you connect with the right people and can also open new opportunities for you. And over time, I've realized that networking is not just about making connections for career moves, but also about learning from others, sharing your own experiences, and finding the right support system. As international professionals, work authorization and career mobility are ongoing concerns, which I understand. So it is very necessary to plan career moves strategically while balancing visa requirements and professional aspirations. Navigating the US job market as an international designer can be complex, but understanding various pathways can help you to plan ahead. So let's break it down into three key areas. For many international graduates, the first step is usually the F1 visa, which is the visa that you come on as a student. And it translates to an OPT, which gives you temporary work authorization. If you are in a STEM field, you can extend this period through the STEM OPT extension. Another common option is the H-1B visa, which is employer sponsored and allows you to work in the US for an extended duration. Usually, this is the most common and preferred option. So if your H-1B visa gets picked, you're good to go. However, the challenge with H-1B is that it is a lottery-based visa, so not everyone who applies for it gets it successfully. This makes it very important to explore other pathways as well. Now, regardless of the visa type, a strong professional profile can increase your chances of getting a sponsorship. A few key strategies that could help are getting licensed or getting an NCAP certification. This enhances your expertise and makes you a more attractive candidate for sponsorship. Having a strong portfolio and publications that showcase impactful projects, your individual research and publications can highlight your industry contributions and distinguish you from other candidates. And finally, engaging with professional organizations like AIA or NOMA can connect you with firms that actively sponsor international talent. For those with specialized skills and accomplishments, there are also alternative pathways. The O1 visa is for individuals with exceptional abilities in any field, which could be a great option if you have a strong portfolio of work, awards, publications, and any sorts of industry contributions, to be honest. And for long-term stability, the employer-sponsored green card categories like an EB1, EB2, or EB3 profile provide permanent residency opportunities, but they typically require employer sponsorship and a strong case as to why your skills are truly very significant. Also, since immigration policies change frequently, it is very important to stay updated about policy updates and work with immigration attorneys to stay on top of it. Apart from professional and legal pathways, there is another key factor for success, and that is having a strong community around you. When it comes to the importance of DEI in architecture, the representation of diverse perspectives in a design team enhances innovation and creativity. When we bring together people with different backgrounds and experiences, we unlock new ideas and new solutions that we might not have considered otherwise. Inclusive teams also lead to design that cater to a broad range of people and users, which can enhance the user experience. Since architecture never usually serves just one community, but a wide range of people, it is necessary to make sure that our work is accessible and relevant to all of our users. Creating opportunities for underrepresented voices is also a crucial part of this process. We can support marginalized individuals through mentorship and sponsorship programs that guide them in professional growth and help them gain access to new opportunities. When it comes to the future of the industry, architecture today is no longer just about form and function. It is evolving rapidly, driven by advancements in AI, in automation, with a growing focus on sustainability. Automation is transforming the way that architects work by streamlining repetitive tasks. AI-driven parametric and generative design tools today allow us to explore multiple design iterations very efficiently, leading to very optimized solutions for our designs. And rather than replacing architects, these technologies are a way to enhance our creativity and our decision-making process. It's a way for us to sort of use them to make our designs and our creativity more efficient. Beyond traditional practice, architecture is also becoming increasingly data-driven. In urban design and public policy, architects are leveraging big data systems to create smart cities and more equitable and accessible public spaces. There is a growing need for professionals who can influence policy and ensure that urban development and design in general aligns with sustainability goals and community needs. Research is also on the rise, with architects exploring climate resilience, emerging materials, and innovative construction methods. Sustainability is no longer optional. It is a fundamental responsibility that we as designers have. The industry is shifting towards net zero design and regenerative design principles, where we're aiming to reduce environmental impact and create buildings that can give back to our ecosystem. Green infrastructure, carbon neutral materials, resilient planning strategies are now shaping the future of our designs and our cities. So, for example, if we apply the current trends to a field like aviation, we see how there is a rise in AI integration to make traffic flows more efficient. The inclusion of smart infrastructure for different processes is also a byproduct. There is ongoing research for enhancing passenger experiences and a focus on designing energy efficient terminals with better material choices. Also, when it comes to applying it to a field like healthcare, we see this trend translating into more efficient layouts, incorporating technology into the user experience and for patient-centric design, and also in net zero design that uses carbon neutral materials. So finally, when it comes to being resilient in an ever-changing field like architecture and design, we need to develop strategies to stay relevant and up to date. So diversifying skills is a big one. By diversifying our expertise across multiple domains, we can stay ahead of industry shifts, whether it is picking up a new software or understanding a new discipline or just broadening your grasp of the field. It makes you a more well-rounded professional. Fields like aviation and healthcare require a very high amount of cross-disciplinary collaboration. The design has to address strict guidelines and codes, and diversifying your skill set for such fields enables us to successfully coordinate all these different responsibilities. Another important lesson would be to keep learning. Like I mentioned previously, our field is constantly changing, and staying curious about new developments, be it through technology, be it through best practices, or even soft skills like communication strategies and business acumen, it keeps us adaptable and valuable in our roles. Mastering new workflows and methodologies can help us to make our work more efficient and impactful. Working towards getting additional certifications like LEED or WELL or CSI, PMP, etc., is also very important as it can help set you apart in the competitive job market. These certifications can highlight your compliance with the evolving industry standards and can help you expand your roles on project teams. Being open to new roles and evolving trends can help us explore ideas and opportunities outside of our regular domain. And finally, seeking feedback from experienced professionals and mentorship is very necessary. It could be your mentor, your professor, or even your supervisor at work who you really admire. Their insights and constructive criticism can help us grow and refine our abilities. It is not about avoiding mistakes, but learning from them to improve and gain new learning opportunities. Learning from people who've been through similar challenges can help give us perspective, guidance, and even reassurance when things don't go as planned. I'm happy to discuss this further.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I have a question. Well, first I'm going to make a comment that I mispronounced your visa because I have never met someone who has achieved that honor of having an O1 visa. So congratulations on that. And
Thank
please
you.
excuse me for my lack of familiarity. On that topic, I wanted to ask, do you have any insights for a firm who may have been reluctant to sponsor an international employee? What are the responsibilities and obligations of a sponsoring firm? Because we have an audience today of both firm owners and also people who may be visa holders who are looking to help navigate the process.
That is a very relevant question given today's climate. And I can answer that on through the lens of a visa holder because I'm not
Okay.
a firm owner, so I might not be the best person to answer through that perspective. But early on in my career, when I had just graduated from design school, I actually faced a lot of continuous rejections because of the fact that a lot of firms are reluctant to hire visa holders because it can be a tedious process, it can be an expensive process, and not all firms sponsor international applicants. So I think, unfortunately, given that hard truth, it falls upon the visa holders to sort of look for opportunities with firms that do sponsor international visas and allow for a transfer of the student visa into a more permanent work permit. I think apart from that, like I mentioned, for example, having an alternate visa like the O1 visa, it can give you a lot more work flexibility. So that allows you to sort of not be tied down to an employer that absolutely sponsors a visa. And you can explore options with firms that sort of do not provide that option. So I think I think that would be my take on this question as a visa holder. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of knowledge about how a firm would do it.
No problem. That may be a topic for another webinar. I'll have to pursue seeking some firms who may be interested in speaking on that. I do have a comment from one of the members of our audience. Christian Nielsen Palacios mentions that back in 1987, his H-1B visa was for individuals with exceptional abilities. He was so flattered until he found out that it just meant that he had a degree in architecture. Christian, thank you for sharing that. Another question, as a first generation immigrant, what are some of the most challenging aspects of entering the architectural field in the United States?
I think the ongoing challenge that I've been facing with my journey is the transfer of the licensure, because in India it is actually a very straightforward process, and I am licensed in India, but unfortunately it doesn't transfer to this country. So that means that I've had to work on getting the additional AXPRs, which is not an easy task because it is around 3,700 work experience hours. And you also have to sort of get all your transcripts verified, make sure that the courses you took qualify according to American standards. And there are also a bunch of jurisdiction specific requirements. So what might be permissible in one state might not be the case in another. So just navigating all of these requirements has been a big challenge for me. But mentorship and speaking to people who've been through the process earlier has helped. And also, local AIA chapters are very helpful in terms of finding a study group because in order to finally get your license, you have to go through 6 exams, like I'm sure many of us on the call know. So having a local group that you can be just accountable to in terms of your study prep can be very helpful. Another challenge, I would say, has been the difference in the workplace for India and the US. For example, people over here are very open. They love engaging in small talk, and that is sort of a norm before a meeting starts. In India, that was very different. People over here are very offices in the US are very accepting. For example, even a junior would be, even an entry level candidate would be someone who can just pitch in into a meeting, whereas in India, experience is what commands a room. So that was a big shift for me. It was a very welcome shift for me, actually. But it took me time to sort of find my voice in the room, because I used to hold myself back thinking, oh, I'm just an entry level person. Why would my opinion matter? So sort of being more vocal when it comes to talking in a room, so just the way the communication style differs between the two countries was a shift for me. But yes, I'm getting used to it.
Excellent. A comment for everybody on the webinar who may have an international degree. I want to make you aware, for the many years that I was an advisor to people with American degrees, please know that there are degrees of all shapes and sizes here in America also that are maybe not NAB accredited, and people are constantly trying to jump through hoops to figure out if their degree qualifies, if their classes qualify, what extra classes they need. And I realize that people who have been practicing as an architect in another country may find it completely absurd to be starting over from square one. But I want to assure you that everybody is going through crazy complications to navigate the process of getting licensed and taking the 6 exams that used to be 9 exams. So we all commiserate, and we are delighted to partner and be supportive to anybody who is seeking help. So please do reach out to your local AIA chapter, as was mentioned, because there are some more support groups all over the place, and usually someone that you can find who has been through the path that you are on and hopefully can assist you in your way. I have another question from the audience, from Joseph Bianco. He most respectfully asks, are you ever considering becoming an American citizen? Would that help in the process?
I think that would definitely help with the process, because if I'm an American citizen, then I don't need to rely on a visa pathway and for work authorization. However, I think the only way for me personally to become an American citizen would be when I sort of transfer my current visa into a more permanent status. So that is something that I still need to work on.
Thank you. Rushi Dar says, good job, Sameedha. I can very well relate with you, as I came 22 years here from India and navigated through this process. It's tedious, but well worth it. A question from Sari Rondon. My question is about the visa H-1B. I spoke with a lawyer about it, and he told me I need to have the NCARB license to apply, like an architect, to be successful. How can I have an NCARB certificate? Because you have to get hours. Do you have to get hours in the office first?
Unfortunately, I'm not very aware of the NCARB certification process. I do know that a way to increase your odds at the H-1B lottery would be if you studied over here and if you are employed in the field that you studied, because that would qualify you for a higher cap in the lottery process. So that is something that you could explore. But unfortunately, when it comes to the NCARB question about having work experience hours, I'm not sure how that process works.
So in my understanding, getting an NCARB certificate is something that you are able to achieve after you have a United States license. So the confusion may be that AXP is also a program of NCARB. So perhaps the lawyer was saying that you need to go through the AXP process, which is an NCARB program, because the completed NCARB certificate is something you achieve after you have finished your education, verification, your AXP hours. So perhaps that's something that we can talk about offline, Saray, if you're able to get in touch with us, and we can help to direct you to somebody who may be able to answer that question for your specific case. Thank you for bringing it up, and please do reach out to us. From Ronald Weston, have you found shared community with other immigrant groups from other countries, or mainly finding support within fellow peers from India?
Oh, yes. So I actually, I think colleges are a great place to start in order to find a community of people from the same country. Also, there are a lot of student groups, so that would be a good place to start. But if you are looking for for professional networks, then I have found a community through my local AIA Pittsburgh chapter. So I wouldn't say it is a very country specific chapter, but I would definitely say that there is homogeneity in terms of the experiences that we share. So everyone is in the same boat. Everyone is trying to figure out how to get licensed or how to sort of succeed in the workplace, how to deal with the changes that come from living in a new country. So I think it is definitely doable to find support groups with people going through the same experiences as you.
Thank you. Rushidar says, that's right, Stacey. AXP is the program under NCARB. EESA and NCARB filing needs to be done for all the paperwork and submitting the work experience hours. Thank you, Rushi, for sending that over. I appreciate that. My next question, how did you navigate the immigration process, and what advice would you offer architects seeking to work in the U.S. under similar circumstances to yours?
I I would, the first thing I would say is to look at the immigration process not through the lens of not just about securing a visa or a work permit, but by positioning yourself as being indispensable or very significant in your field. I would look at it as a way to sort of professionally develop your profile and grow in your field. When it comes to my personal journey, I came over here on an F1 visa, and I tried my luck at the H1B lottery for 3 years, as is the case for STEM degrees. I was unable to get picked in the lottery, and which is when I spoke to a few people who had been through the same experiences as me, and I came to know about the O1 visa, and I sort of started building my profile up for it. So to people who are looking to work towards their portfolio or their personal profile, I would say it helps to identify a niche. So when it comes to your work, it would be helpful if you could sort of figure out what types of projects you work on, how impactful they are. The more impactful a project, the better it is. And as architects, almost all of our projects are very impactful. So that actually helps us a lot. The next step would be to gather strong documentation. So in order to apply for the visas, you need letters of recommendation. So these are more significant when it comes from industry experts. So you could reach out to your professors, you could reach out to your seniors at work for these, and that would help. When it comes to visas like O1 and EB1, having different awards that you've won for designs and having research and different publications and different kinds of industry contributions help. And again, I would emphasize the importance of mentorship, because engaging with different people, talking to more people in the industry, it need not just be people who are immigrants, but talking to members of the AIA, of the NCARB, and different industry people would help, because it could open new opportunities for collaboration, which could end up helping you some way. And it would also be a good way to get your foot in the door and learn from experiences.
Excellent. I see that you have a webinar on April 1st that's specifically about navigating visas and career paths. How do members of our audience find that to register?
Oh, I have it on my LinkedIn, so maybe there would be a registration link over there. But
Okay.
if not, the easiest way would be it is being hosted by the Immigrant Architects Coalition. So if you go to their page, you would find a registration link for that, and that discussion is. It focuses on the alternative visa types that I spoke about today, which is the O1 visa, the EB1 visa, specifically for architects. And we also have an attorney speaking that day. So it would be, so the attorney can speak more to the policy changes and the recent updates that are there.
Thank you. I see Christian has put the link in the question and answer, but I don't know if everyone can see that or if only I can see that. But in any case, people can certainly look it up using the Immigrant Architect Coalition page, and that will be very helpful, I'm sure. What strategies have you used to advance your career within specialized fields such as aviation?
I would say that for for sort of being relevant in fields like aviation and healthcare, I would say it helps to actively seek out multidisciplinary and large team projects in your firm. So I stumbled upon aviation projects almost by chance. It was never on my plan. But once I got involved in one, I realized that that is something that I really enjoy doing. So I started asking to be involved in more of those. So if that is something that you feel you're interested in, it would definitely help to just talk to your supervisors and ask to be involved. Another factor I would say would be to sort of develop your technical expertise. Both aviation and healthcare are fields that have a lot of regulatory compliances, that have a lot of code requirements and different industry standards. So sort of learning about them and being up to date on all those changing codes would also help you. And all these and both fields require a lot of multidisciplinary collaboration, not just between architects and design teams, but between other fields such as engineering, MEP, civil, structural, almost like all other architecture projects. But the scale is really different for these two fields. So I would also suggest being involved on different phases of a project would help, because it can sort of make you a more well-rounded contributor. So trying to get roles on projects which are at different stages of their development would also help.
Thank you. How can young architects and those early in their careers leverage opportunities in high-impact fields such as aviation and healthcare?
I think this would I would build up on my previous answer for this one as well. I would say if that is something you feel you want to do, then point one would be to ask for those roles. And even if there is no immediate opportunity to work on them, I would say just being up to date with sort of navigating different code requirements or understanding how data analysis and interpretation works, because both aviation and healthcare are fields where you have to understand a lot of information that architects are not traditionally prepared for. But that does not mean that you have to be the expert at it. You sort of have to be the jack of all trades. So just being able to understand the high level purview of certain standards and then translate it into your design, that would help. So in order to prepare for this, it would be easiest to work with different different projects where you end up doing the same, because it is a transferable skill. So that would be a good way to prepare for these roles if you're not getting an immediate role to work on these.
And you feel that your contributions to those types of projects directly relate to your ability to have achieved the O1 visa, correct?
Uh, I think so, yes.
Because those are more, those types of projects are more
impactful, I would say.
Right, right. Then like a shopping mall or some,
Right. So, for
right.
example, to use a personal experience, I did use the case that I have been working on airport projects in my oven visa because I could give the statistics that sort of prove that, okay, I have 1 million passengers using something that I contributed to. So that is a statistic that helps. Or being able to say that, okay, the design that I worked on caters to 1,000 patients. So those are statistics that can help you with building your profile.
Great. One of our audience members says, given work, immigration, professional development, and spending time with loved ones, how do you manage everything?
Well, work-life balance is a difficult issue for everyone. And I think with the increase in the work from home culture, the boundary between work and home is sort of getting blurred. But I think at the end of the day, it really boils down to us as individuals to draw a line between sort of making it non-negotiable that, okay, I have to absolutely go on a walk with my husband for half an hour a day, and that is a non-negotiable. So I think when personally we set those boundaries on ourselves, it's sort of easier to finish a task that I otherwise would have done in 1 hour in 40 minutes.
And I also think putting together a career timeline for yourself can help you to stay on task with the different obligations that you have. So that way, as there are so many aspects of our work-life balance that we cannot control. People enter and exit our lives. We have obligations to children, to parents, to our own self-care needs. We have passions of things that we want to do and that we seek out to fulfill our lives and make them more enjoyable. And coming up with a timeline of, what are my career goals and when should I seek to schedule those goals in? Because those things also can be sidetracked. Suddenly you run out of time to study or you haven't registered for the exam because you were focusing on something else. So when we take a look at the things in our lives that we are able to control and we can manage and try to fit the puzzle pieces of everything else around rather than saying, oh, I'll wait to do that till I have time. You really never have time. So you have to look at, how do I fit in all these different puzzle pieces at the same time and try to, stay true to those life priorities that you set for yourself. So that's very, very good advice. From our audience member, Judy Donnelly, when I was president of AIA New Jersey, I wrote a support letter on behalf of an H-1B petition applicant for a woman who is pursuing a career and license as an architect in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Her boss contacted me with the request. I did research, spoke with the employee, and more. The USA was going to send her back to her home country in South America. In the end, the result was positive, and Anna was able to continue working in the architecture firm and stay in the USA. Please reach out to us at the AIA for assistance when we can help. We will. Thank you, Judy. Kathy G asks, would you suggest a master's degree for immigrants, giving the visa job market lesser opportunities for immigrants situation?
I think a master's degree would help in case of the in case of the H-1B visa lottery, because like I mentioned, having education in a specialized degree, which usually you get through master's degrees, qualifies you for a master's cap in the lottery. So there are higher odds of you getting picked. However, since it's a lottery-based system at the end of the day, nothing is certain. But I would definitely recommend masters as a way to sort of develop personally and professionally. Yeah.
Thank you. How do you define diversity, equity, and inclusion in the architecture and AEC industries? And what steps can we take to make meaningful progress in these areas? I'm especially interested as committee chair, how we can help to elevate this.
DEI in architecture goes beyond just representation. It can be reflected through the way we design, through the way we build and engage with communities and the environment around us. So the presence of people from different backgrounds, identities, sort of brings fresh perspectives to architecture. It enhances creativity, which our field is all about. So diversity definitely helps. Equity is something that we can show through our designs because we can ensure that our designs ensure fair access to opportunities and resources. So equity would not just be about hiring diverse candidates, but also about creating these equal, transparent pathways in the firm or leadership opportunities. Inclusion, we can sort of get through it when all individuals feel valued in the firm. So you can cultivate environments where individuals can thrive. Those would be few ways where we can sort of inculcate the three in the design practice, and through our designs. We could I had a mentor who once told me that having diverse representation in leadership roles just fosters more diverse inclusion into the practice. So I think that comes down to mentorship again. So I would say creating, being part of mentorship and sponsorship activities for different communities is always a good way to ensure that.
Great. I also want to mention you happen to work for a very large and well-established firm that has a lot of phenomenal resources here in New Jersey, as well as at all of your offices. For the people who are on our call today, I want to mention that New Jersey happens to be primarily very small to mid-sized firms, many who are embracing diversity, equity, and inclusion, but may not have full-fledged programs that you might find in a larger firm or a more established firm. So I want to mention to the firm owners, the employees, and the new hires that AIA New Jersey has many resources available to be able to support and assist a firm in developing equity programs within the firm, or if there are questions of how to apply programs that your staff may be asking about, please don't hesitate to reach out to us so we can assist you. We have done lunch and learn programs as well as programs where we met with employees and principals to help to establish programs and to bring awareness of best practices at other firms. So we're happy to help you to create a more equitable environment in your firm with many of the tools that we have available, as well as the guidelines for equitable practice that are available from AIA National. Can you discuss the importance of mentorship and how it's influenced your professional growth?
Mentorship has actually been a very important part of what has shaped me as an individual and as a professional as well. Mentors can provide you with guidance, with encouragement, a sense of direction, and a lot of support. Architecture, so when it comes to architecture, experience matters as much as education. So no matter how many advanced degrees you get, learning from someone else's experience can help you bridge the gap between what you learn in school, between theoretical knowledge and real world practice experience. So it has been incredibly important to me as I sort of navigate the workspace in a new country. Also, the architecture industry can be demanding, and as a woman in architecture, it can sometimes get daunting, especially as an immigrant. So mentors, both male and female, for me have helped me develop the confidence to advocate for myself, to speak up, to ask for roles that I really feel would challenge me and that I would benefit from, to sort of push for newer opportunities. And at the end of the day, I also feel that the journey, especially as an immigrant, is full of ups and downs. Things don't always work out the way you want them to. So, mentors have also provided constant support for me, which sort of helps me not lose hope and keep going and keep pursuing newer opportunities in the field.
Excellent. Thank you. Christian mentions that his Venezuelan degree was a professional 6-year degree, which was considered equivalent to a master's in New York State when he applied in 1990.
Wow.
Another question from the audience: what would you want to explore more in the next few years of the profession for yourself?
I think for the moment, I'm very happy exploring newer challenges in aviation and healthcare design, but I am open to exploring other fields of work as well. My journey has been a very it has been a very diverse one. I started out with residential architecture. I got into campus planning. I then explored GIS analysis for architecture. I explored wastewater treatment plants, few correctional facilities. So I've sort of been trying what fascinates me, what I'm good at. And through all these permutations and combinations, I reached aviation and healthcare. But yeah, I would definitely be open to trying out something new and seeing how I respond to it. And another thing is I would really I'd really like to start working towards engaging more with people. Like I mentioned before, mentorship has helped me a lot, and I feel my experiences would be something that I would like someone else to benefit from as well. So I would also like to personally engage with more people, like emerging professionals, more students, and sort of help them in any way I can.
Thank you. I'm sure that you're going to get a lot of messages to ask for your support because you are so generous. Philippe Paz from our audience says, I'm an architect and specialist in construction project management in the city of Cartagena, Colombia. I would like to begin the evaluation process for my studies, but I'm not sure how to do it correctly. Could you please help me with the necessary information to achieve my goal? Is that an EESA question?
Yeah, my follow-up question to this was evaluate studies in terms of what, with what goal in mind, I think.
So probably the Immigrant Architects Coalition could be helpful to this person, right?
Yeah,
And
probably, yes.
there's also a Foreign Architects Facebook page that would probably be helpful to this person. So Philippe, please look for those resources. And if you're unable to find those, please hunt one of us down through AIA New Jersey, and we will try to connect you with the right person. I think the academic evaluation process is through an organization called EESA. So if what you're first looking to do is get your education evaluated, that would be another thing to look up. What steps can architects take to foster more inclusive and supportive environments for underrepresented voices in the profession?
I think apart from sort of having more diverse hiring practices, it would definitely help to engage in more mentorship and sponsorship activities for immigrants. It would also sort of help to have these continuing education seminars like AIA does, but with an immigrant perspective in mind. So, for example, if there are certain changes, for example, it took me some time to adapt to the communication preferences in the US. So having someone guide me through it would have been incredibly helpful. So maybe we could look for opportunities where we could do that. Sort of just bridging the different gaps between your home country and the workspace over here would be very helpful. And again, I think mentorship helps with that a lot. Also, having a network that you can rely on, where you can learn together, where you can discuss all these challenges that you're facing would be very helpful.
Thank you. What advice do you have for architects who are looking to broaden their career impact and expand beyond traditional practice areas?
Like I mentioned during my presentation, architecture is sort of no longer just about form and function and traditional design. Like all fields around us, AI, sustainability, climate resilience, it's sort of seeping into the way we design, into the way we think. So I would say having a multidisciplinary focus would be very important now, because it is no longer just about sort of creating a design, but it is about solving this complex, wicked problem. So in order to be more effective problem solvers for all these wicked problems, we sort of need to adapt to these changing industry standards. So I would say being open to learning this, being open to working with multidisciplinary teams would be a very important strategy.
Thank you. What are some of the emerging trends or opportunities in architecture that professionals should be aware of as they plan their upcoming careers?
So, building on the previous answer, I think I would say there are new opportunities that are opening up in AI, in sustainability. So, you could explore parametric designs, AI integration into architecture. Maybe there is a field over there for which a title doesn't even exist currently. So that could be something. And also, I was asked a few days ago if I felt that if AI is going to replace architects, and it is my very firm personal opinion that that's not going to happen, because at the end of the day, no matter how many iterations a design model can generate for you, at the end of the day, design is something that you you impart your experiences, you impart your emotions, you impart cultural nuances into a design. So all that is very different from just feeding an AI prompt. So this is where I feel that architects could step in and be the voice between the AI machine and sort of get your own experience and education into it and create more humane designs.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much. We have no more questions from the audience, and I have gotten all of my questions answered. Thank you. I'd like to invite you now to give us any closing remarks or anything that we haven't covered that you'd like to share, or any visionary recommendations for our audience to be thinking about as they leave our webinar today.
I think we've gone over everything, but I'd again, in closing, like to stress on the importance of mentorship and sort of talking to people. For the longest time, I was afraid to reach out to people. And I've realized that people really, at the end of the day, want to help you. So speak up for yourself, because no one else is going to. And it's always nice to learn from someone else's experiences and reach out and sort of depend on someone's experiences to learn.
Thank you very, very much. I want to also thank the audience for sending in so many wonderful questions and comments. We appreciate everyone attending. And we are available after today's webinar with follow-up questions. You can always reach us through AIA New Jersey's social media or other communication tools. Thank you very much. And if you'd like to share this information with others, you can look for the video on our YouTube channel in the coming weeks. Have a great day. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.